What is up, guys? Welcome back to S3M2 Football and welcome to today's football preview video. Our action for this video takes us off to Italy for a showdown that is kicking off this Sunday on the 9th of March that sees Juventus host Atalanta. We start off today's video with the home side here being Juventus. The last 5 fixtures for the Bianconeri have ended in 3 wins and 2 losses, with Juve's last match being a 2-0 win at home against Verona. And in these last 5 fixtures, Thiago Motta's men have scored 6 goals and conceded 4 goals. So they're keeping it fairly solid at the back, but perhaps not getting the goals that they should. The first player that I have to talk about Juventus is somebody who I think took to the Serie A so well. French centre-forward Randal Kolo Muani joined from PSG and he has 5 goals and 2 assists in 9 appearances. With Randal Kolo Muani, I think Juventus now have a centre-forward who gives them speed and energy up front. You couple that with the hunger that this player has, and I think now Juventus have a centre-forward who is always looking to work for the team, either scoring a goal or setting up somebody else to get one instead. In midfield, giving this team a little bit of solidity, I want to talk about Italian defensive midfielder Manuel Locatelli. In 37 appearances, Locatelli has just 2 assists, but I think he does a lot for this team defensively. Locatelli provides Juventus' midfield with a bit of physicality and composure, contributing to the build-up with his great passing range and accuracy, and his ability to sort of orchestrate things from those holes in the middle of the pitch. Defensively, I want to talk about Italian centre-back Federico Gatti. In 37 appearances, he has just 1 goal and 2 assists, but I think Gatti is a very strong centre-back, and I think he functions as a defensive leader for Juventus. He's aggressive and very efficient with his tackling, but I think Gatti has also proven to be a defender who is not afraid to move up on the pitch to support the attack. Tactically for Juventus, Thiago Motta has lined his team up to be able to play both counter-attack and possession. But Juve always look to inject a bit of control over the game or just disrupt the attacking momentum of the opposition. They look to remain defensively solid at all times. For that, we have seen this team line up in a 4-2-3-1 formation. The idea is to just control the center using 2 holding midfielders, while players like Mbangula, Conceição and Yildiz give Juventus width and creativity on those wings. A centre-forward like Randal Kolo Muani then leads the line with pace, and if they need to, they can always sub him off and bring on Dusan Vlahovic, who will then lead the line as a true target man with strength, power and physicality. Okay, on to the away team. Now for Atalanta, the last 5 fixtures have ended in 1 win, 2 losses and then 2 draws. So it does look like the wheels have been coming off for this team. Atalanta's last match was a 0-0 draw at home against Venezia. And in their last 5 fixtures, Gasperini's team have scored 7 goals and conceded 5 goals. So 1 more than Juventus on both accounts. The first player I have to talk about for Atalanta has got to be Italian centre-forward Matteo Retegui. In 38 appearances, Retegui has 24 goals and 5 assists. And in Retegui, I see a centre-forward who's very strong, who's very direct, who can play as a target man and is very lethal pretty much anywhere around the 18 area. Creatively for Atalanta, I want to talk about Belgian attacking midfielder Charles de Ketelaere. In 40 appearances, De Ketelaere has 11 goals and 11 assists. And for me, I look at him and I see the playmaker in the Atalanta setup. He's a player who's got both great passing range and accuracy, but who's also very efficient when it comes to dribbling with the ball at his feet. De Ketelaere does have that ability to just unlock a defense with his movement, his passing, and his dribbling ability. Defensively for Atalanta, I want to talk about Bosnian centre-back Sead Kolasinac. In 29 appearances, Kolasinac has 1 goal and 2 assists, but when I look at him, I see a defensive rock for Atalanta. He's a player who's solid, who's physical, who's strong, but who also brings a lot of experience to this Atalanta team, having played at the highest levels for other teams like Arsenal. Tactically for Atalanta, coach Gianpiero Gasperini likes his team to play on the counter-attack. Atalanta have proven to be very fluid and quick when they do get their attacking plays going, and they just look to tear through the center of the opposition. As a result, we've seen this team line up in a 3-4-2-1 formation, with the forward trio of Retegui, Ademola Lookman, and De Ketelaere then just looking so dynamic all the time. They're always moving both on and off the ball, looking to create or looking to place somebody into space all over the pitch. The double pivot in midfield for Atalanta just looks to look after the defense, but with their great passing range and ability, they're also able to find those very dynamic three forward players from pretty much anywhere on the pitch. Okay, on to the head-to-head in the S3M2 Verdict. Now, the last 5 fixtures between Juventus and Atalanta have ended in 2 wins for Juventus and then 3 draws. So unfortunately, no wins for Atalanta, meaning this one is stacked quite heavily against them. In terms of goal output, in their last 5 showdowns with one another, Juventus have scored 6 goals, while Atalanta have managed just half of that with 3 goals. So in terms of goal output as well, it does look like Juve have Atalanta's number. If we look at the Serie A table, however, it does look a little different. Juventus are 4th with 52 points, while Atalanta are 3rd, 3 points ahead of the Bianconeri on 55. Both do have a pretty difficult job this season. They both find themselves in a tricky spot with just the Serie A to play for right now, with both being knocked out of both the Coppa Italia and the UEFA Champions League as well. So right now all of their eggs are in one basket, and it means that both of these teams are under a lot of pressure. Both are definitely in the Scudetto title race, with Atalanta and Juventus both looking to try and usurp top spot from either Napoli or Inter Milan. But as it stands right now, a draw favors Atalanta. It allows them to heap a bit of pressure on Juventus and the teams at the top, but obviously that could be even better if they're able to win. It would mean that then Napoli and Inter have to win to maintain a bit of distance between themselves and Atalanta. For Juventus, the Bianconeri unfortunately need to win. It would allow them to hop into 3rd spot over Atalanta, while simultaneously holding off Lazio, who find themselves in 5th spot. Atalanta, I think, have proven that they're very good at imposing themselves on the opposition. They go out there with a certain game plan and they just look to implement it each and every time. And when it comes off, it looks very good. For Juventus though, I think they're still searching for a bit of identity. We're used to seeing Juventus be very solid at the back, with players in the past like Chiellini, Bonucci, Buffon and Pirlo. But now we're seeing a Juventus team that is a little bit more fragile at the back, and they also seem to just not really know what they're doing when they're going forward at times. I think right now all of these players at Juventus are part of a restructure and a rebuild that has been spearheaded by Thiago Motta. And I think all of them still lack the confidence to impose themselves both individually and as a unit. I think though, knowing that Atalanta are without Gianluca Scamacca and Scalvini means that other players then have to take up the mantle, and that's what we've seen from players like Retegui and Lookman, who have just become the attacking threat that Atalanta needed. For Juventus, the Bianconeri are without Bremer, Milik, Conceição and Douglas Luiz. So I think that means coach Thiago Motta has a bit of work to do to have his team compensate for these absences, both defensively and offensively. I think history definitely favors Juventus. This team looks so much better than Atalanta when the two play against one another. But I think coming into this one, Atalanta look a little bit more free-flowing. I'm expecting both teams to score goals. I think Kolo Muani coming into Juventus means now they're not solely reliant on a player like Vlahovic. So if a team understands that, okay, we could just put a physical centre-back to deal with Vlahovic, that plan doesn't exactly work against Kolo Muani anymore, because he's going to do a lot more running off the ball as well. I think though it won't be enough. I think In terms of the title race, a win for either one of these teams does take a bit away from the other, but it applies pressure on those two at the top. I think a draw, though, does keep things fairly even in those spots from third all the way down to sixth. But I think it does then allow Inter and Napoli to then put a bit of distance between themselves and the chasing pack. I do think a draw does keep the entire Scudetto title race a little bit more open, and not just the title race, but also those Champions League spots, which are so coveted by everybody. And I think while it is not the result that either one of these teams will want, I think it is the most likely outcome here. My score prediction for this one is going to be Juventus 2, Atalanta 2.
Hi, thank you for making it to the end of this video. We really appreciate the watch time and the fact that you took some time out of your day to spend it with us talking about the sport that we all love. If you enjoyed the content, why not, drop a like down below or comment in the comment section. Maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. And I mean, while you are here right now, have a look at some of our old videos too. They should be appearing on the screen right now, along with that subscribe button. So you know exactly what to do. Thank you so much. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And have a great day out there. And we hope to see you again very, very soon. Thanks. Stay safe.